I have mixed feelings about this calendar's accuracy. I know I didn't expect it to be on point 100% of the time, and since Fullmetal Alchemist is a collaboration, it'd be expected that it'd be moved around. But I was pretty confident that a Final Fantasy 15 banners would be successive. Silly me, thinking something like seamless transitions were a given in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. This was a pair I never imagined. I thought King Behemy would be released as a standalone unit. Nope, turns out they decided to release Poppy too. Why? I have no idea. Daisy would have made more sense if we were going by release date, so the only thing I can imagine is that they just released one of the more useful Season 3 units. King Behemy is a fan design unit, designed by Bahamut X for the contest in 2019. I wonder if Bahamut X is still playing. If anyone's forgotten, King Behemy is supposed to be a tank. Whoa, look at that brave shift. They really did a good job there. I didn't think he could look any more imposing, but that red shade and billowing cape gives such a kingly aura. Or maybe not, I wouldn't know, I never saw a king in real life. His base form's a physical tank and a supporter apparently. That's a surprise. Let's see how he performs compared to Poppy. His second form is still a tank, but he also turns himself into a damage dealer and a debuffer. That's pretty ambitious, so I hope he doesn't spread himself too thin. If done right, he could become an outstanding unit. A physical tank, supporter, debuffer, and a damage dealer rode into one? Wow. His Super Trustmaster reward brings more defense for your units, though its additional defense boost will only apply when your unit's holding a single weapon. That prevents you from using shields, which is a pretty big blow. Luckily, his Trustmaster reward boasts quite a bit of defense, and while it has some level of evasion, your unit will need quite a bit of stats to perform as an effective tank. However, it looks like you can upgrade the weapon to grant an additional effect to boost your unit's HP and defense, though we don't actually know if it applies to every unit. Let's take a look at the sneak peek of abilities. Friendly and Ferocious, aw, that's a cute name, is an active provoke with damage reduction and dual mitigation against demon enemies. That sounds incredibly useful, given the common rate of appearance of demons. Quake Aura looks to be a support ability, and wow, lets everyone deal earth damage and boost it as well? And then there's the one on his Brave Shift. Meteor Shield boosts King Behemy's defense, spirit, and accuracy, while reducing all of the enemy's elemental resistance. By how much and how long, who knows, but this could see practically universal use in Dark Visions. Doesn't mean he'd always be the best choice, but take a look at this clause down here. Damage all enemies 2 times. That suggests a chaining family. And finally, the Magnus ability, Generations of Behemoths. It makes an enemy guard other enemies, kind of like Lumina's effect. Anyone remember her? And it brings a demon killer buff for your team. Overall, King Behemy looks to be a unit with superb effects, but the extent of its magnitude will really determine his ultimate viability. Poppy was a big surprise. I thought the Season 3 units would be delayed for a Neo-Vision awakening or something along those lines, but I guess not. Silly me, getting my hopes up like that. I guess she's not getting a Neo-Vision awakening, or any boss for that matter. While she could still see some use today, it's a far cry from her incredible reception word on her initial release date. But let's go over here. She's a supporter. Her Super Trustmaster reward still holds up pretty well to the competition, with pretty good amounts of magic and spirit. It also imbues every element except for Dark onto your unit, which, well, really isn't as awesome as it sounds. Its bonus effect is pretty cool, automatically boosting your unit's water, wind, and light damage by 10%. Her Trustmaster reward boosts your unit's spirit, HP, and grants a limit burst gauge regen. This is an incredible materia to throw on a magic tank, though your unit will have to equip its staff to take advantage of its full effect, which, well, your mileage may vary. The skills showcased here are but a fraction of her true abilities. White color scheme lets her team deal light damage, but she should also have the ability to do the same for water and wind as well. That additional text that changes the ability down there, that actually lets the ability boost your team's respective elemental damage as well. I can keep going, grant someone a re-raise, a pretty big damage mitigation, and boost their elemental resistance. It's a strange name for a targeted defensive buff, but whatever. Graffiti Trick boosts your team's stats and grants them a damage mitigation. You know, this sneak peek does a good job at raising your expectations, without actually giving away too many details. Obviously, numbers are what people want to know about, and while I'd love to tell you what they actually do, this isn't actually a reveal. Next up, some event. We'll be fighting Kairos, an enemy designed by Nemo. I wonder if Nemo's still playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Kairos is a demon with powerful physical attacks. If only we had some unit fit to defend us from this monstrosity. He's weak to ice and water, so that makes you wonder if King Behemy could be hiding more from us, though it's more likely that this is why Poppy was thrown in. We have some exclusive awards that I don't need but I'll still get. Ooh, killer recipes. Human and Demon Killer. I assume one of the materials will act as a limiting reagent, but that whole non-stackable declaration makes it sound like you'll be able to get multiple copies. Maybe. For the event units, they obviously have King Behemy, Poppy, and these two again for whatever reason. Kinda wish they granted that boost to the other global original units. I know Eldrin and Imbaro are limited, but Melia isn't. And every time, Starlight, Elena, and Yoshikiri were event bonus units for whatever reason. This is why I still haven't converted their extra copies. Wait, Poppy isn't an event bonus unit? She only receives a parameter buff? Okay. Unit intro quest. I hate these with a burning passion due to their complete lack of worth. You can't even properly test a unit, and these missions often require you to enter them twice just to activate different abilities under separate forms. I know it at least gives free materials, but they could have made the event a bit more worthwhile. Let you actually test out the unit with your own team. Vision cards. Wow, that's pretty nice. I wonder if Bahamut X had a hand in designing this. We got all the monsters surrounding King Behemy. Has anyone watched one of the Godzilla movies incidentally? Seems like a nice vision card, and oh, there's another bundle. Looks like it was already released. I rarely look at the bundles anyways. This one's nice as well. I remember Duke's character event. Barely, but let's not focus on that part. Dark Visions, duh. An exploration for the Final Fantasy 15 event. Oh, the enemy's also a demon. Too bad it's rarely ever a threat. We got a treasure summon. I stopped looking at these when I saw a dollar sign. There's the exchange shop. Remember when we didn't have a safety net? Then there's a login bonus. Oh, what's this? Equipment? Okay, looks pretty niche. Then there's the actual login bonus, which makes you want a daily fragment dungeon. We have a Dark Vision summon, a Dark Vision's login bonus, and maintenance. Okay, comparisons. First up, King Behemy's competition. There are some incredible physical tanks out there. Solitary Patron Snow, Neo Vision Gabrynth, and I suppose more people will compare him to Shoreline Fina and Daisy for the sake of it. If I had to say, one of his greatest strengths looked to be, wait a second, this isn't a review video, those are on Thursdays.